Hey guys, it's me. I just want to give you a little update, kind of as to how I'm doing and to shoot this video so you can get a little bit of a better picture into the life of someone who has ALS. Um, since my last video, I've been doing a little bit better as I've talked a lot about. ALS is both very progressive but also very regressive in a good way. Um, there's a lot you can do to solve your own illness, and just really take a little bit more control yourself so that you know you're getting the right care. Um, as far as my son, I will also mention that since the last video I shot, some of the information that we are finding out about him is that he had a positive Lyme test at one point. So, that's always very interesting with ALS because you see Lyme disease a lot. I can tell you, I don't have Lyme disease. My tests were negative. He does present with the same symptoms. And he already could seem more progressive at this young age because he is male. It can go a little bit faster. And he is my firstborn child. So the thing about pregnancy is the mother, if she contains any toxicity at all, any toxins in her body, you will purge that basically into your firstborn child. That's how it works. So keep that in mind if you are planning to have children or anything like that you really want to kind of detox ahead of time. To reduce those factors and carrying on that sort of that neurological component that can bring on these neurodegenerative diseases. I really want to also kind of get into the genetics of this because it's just all very confusing. There's a lot of organizations that do try to take the lead on these sorts of things. I have my own thoughts again on those. I don't give money to organizations. There's other ways of doing it. You can donate directly to a scientist. They are doing the work and they are the ones conducting the research. And it's really not that difficult to find out who they are and which one that you believe in. So I would really highly recommend starting there. If you do feel like you want to give, research is obviously very, very important. But we don't necessarily need an organization to dictate that. Because there's just a lot of other information kind of indicating, they're collecting billions and billions of dollars. I can tell you as a patient, not all patients get helped. They don't. So why are we giving so much money? You can do it yourself and you can be in charge of your own campaign. You can raise money for your family, give to people you know. That way it's a trusted source and the right people are getting what they need. Because that's really, one of the biggest problems. There's at least 30,000 patients living with ALS at any time. So it's a far bigger number than you see if you do the research on ALS. So all those people are not really getting the things that they need. So early diagnosis, testing, that's where it's at. And there are already some scientists out there who are doing that. Brain chemistry labs, again, I will mention, because that's who I believe in. That's my choice. And they really have nailed down the research on these sorts of things and have a way to develop a test for it. So that's what we need. That would solve the problem. So a cure, there's no such thing as a cure. A cure solving all the problems, right? It is. So don't get led down that path. There's no need to confuse people. genetics, when you look at the research and the science, point to the environment. So what happens is, and I've kind of explained this before, I want to go more into it because there's so much misconception around genetics. And I feel like it's causing people to be led down a rabbit hole. It really is. Genes can spiral completely out of control. There can be so many genes involved in ALS. So it really comes from our environment. Toxins, bacteria, viruses, all those sorts of things can incorporate into our DNA. And so if you're living with your sister or you have a child that develops ALS, that's really where it comes from. There was that environmental factor they incorporated into genes, and it could be as far back as our early ancestors. Again, when you look at kind of the research is how, like, something like cyanobacteria, there's a ton of research on that is what I believe in. For my condition, that kind of reflects cyanobacteria as being a core component of it. I do live in Michigan. I'm surrounded by the Great Lakes. There is a lot of it. And there's links. There are direct links that have already been studied by scientists that have been published for a long time. And the research is correct. So, again, that was done by Paul Cox from Brain Chemistry Labs. So I think that it's not as difficult as everyone is making it out to be. Yeah, everyone has a different form and there are different factors, but